Good morning, truth seekers. Today is Sunday. It is week one of the NFL season. We had the Saturday games yesterday, Arizona at Carolina and Baltimore at Pittsburgh. And this morning we are awaking to news headlines in the sports world that Stuart Scott, former anchor of ESPN, has died at the age of 49. And on my blog, I've been documenting how often 49 has been coded into media stories. If you're not aware, Stuart Scott has been battling cancer since November 2007, so for a little more than 7 years. There's some other curiosities about this. If you watch ESPN, you might also be aware of the personality Stephen A. Smith, who has the show Quite Frankly. Just in my mind, I have connections between these guys, and this morning I established the connections further. So I'm going to show you something, Truth Seeker. I did a video on Stephen A. Smith. It's right here. It's episode 32 as it happens. In this video, I show all of Stephen A. Smith's curious connections, and in this video segment, if you watch it, he's having a debate between who was the better player at age 33, Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan. I've also done extensive posts on Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. Both of their names sum to 113 in simple English gematria, and there's a whole lot more than that. What this shows, Truth Seeker, is the hoax behind organized sports, and it's way deeper than you know. Stuart Scott is known for the phrase booyah. If you watched ESPN when this guy was in his prime, you heard a lot of booyahs. I was a kid back then. I used to love it. I used to love the booyah in Stuart Scott. Booyah has a simple English gematria of 66, a number that's very much connected to 33. Stephen A. Smith has a show called Quite Frankly. The word quite equals 27, 3 times 9. Frankly equals 11, 33. 3 times 11, so the 11s and 9s. Stephen A. Smith went to the Winston-Salem College. Stephen A. Smith went to Winston-Salem College. Stuart Scott grew up in the town of Winston-Salem. And Truth Seeker, this is not a coincidence. This is what's going on. These people are born into the right families, the right communities, and by studying this, we can see where these communities are located. Something is going on in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. No doubt about it. Not far from where the Carolina Panthers football game was yesterday. And then just for him to die at 49, Truth Seeker, what's it tell you? What does it tell you? Here's a few other things I want to show you. Stuart Scott with Pythagorean gematria equals 32. His phrase booyah equals 66. Again, he just died at the age of 49. We're coming up on Super Bowl 49. As it happens, 66 and 32 are super important numbers to the NFL. In Jewish gematria, NFL equals 66. And recall, it was the 47th season of the NFL where the first Super Bowl was played. The 47th season was the season of the first Super Bowl, the 66th season. These numbers, they really line up, Truth Seeker. So, Stuart Scott definitely has NFL numbers, and he died at the age of the coming Super Bowl. People who say this is a coincidence are fooling themselves. There's no doubt about it, Truth Seeker. This is the Stuart Scott I remember when he was young and healthy. This is him 7 years ago when he started his battle with cancer, at least as it was presented. You know, True Seeker, it wouldn't even surprise me if it turned out his battle with cancer was fake. And it's all just part of this ongoing show. And for anyone going, well, why would he do that? The answer is simple. Money. Money, money, money. These guys make a lot of money. They make more than you and the rest of your neighborhood combined for the most part, True Seeker. People always stop and ask these dumb questions when trying to dismiss conspiracy. Oh, why would they do that? So often it just comes back to money. It's that simple. Money. Money. Go in front of the camera and say booyah for money. Go fake cancer for money. Maybe even fake your death for money. Maybe Stuart Scott's not really dead. I'd like to think that he wasn't really killed. But then again, if he was sacrificed, it wouldn't surprise me one bit either. So let's look at a few other things that I've learned since I did the last post, Truth Seeker. Somebody passed this article on to me. This is from September 3rd, 2014. I'm going to be the first to admit I predicted on September 21st, 18 days later. I had no idea about this article, Truth Seeker. This is new to me today. But it was 18 days later after the Week 3 games that I predicted Lions versus Colts Super Bowl. Would you believe that this September 3rd article, 9-3, Truth Seeker, 9-3, like the Lima, 93. Would you believe that this September 3rd article predicts a Lions-Colts Super Bowl? And how they do it is really fascinating to me and makes a lot of sense to me, Truth Seeker. If you've seen my World Series post, I connected what happened in the World Series to the coming Super Bowl. For starters, San Francisco Giants won the World Series 66 days after the San Francisco earthquake of this year. And the number 53 was coded into the entire event. The numerology of the day they won the World Series is 53. The head coach Bochy sums to 53. They'd won 3 of the last 5 Super Bowls on that date. And even more, Truth Seeker, earlier in the day, a missing NFL fan was found who was 53 years old. The gematria of his name was 53. He was found 110 miles from where he was lost. It was the 110th World Series. All part of the numerology spectacle. The reason I'm telling you this is because in this article, it says that every Super Bowl since 2006 has gone through the New York Giants and the New England Patriots. By looking at season schedules, if you were aware of this pattern, you were able to pick the winner and the loser of the Super Bowl before it even happened. The winners have played the Giants. The losers have played the Patriots. And in that span of time, the Giants have defeated the Patriots twice in the Super Bowl. So I'm going to link this article down in the comments, Truth Seeker. He goes through the schedule for 2006 up to the present, and he really lays it out. I mean, this is condemning, and it shows you what a joke the NFL is. And honestly, Truth Seeker, I'm saying this person lays it out. This is probably laid out by somebody within the NFL just trying to put the truth out there, because they know the average citizen is just going to gaffe at this. When I've told people I thought the Lions were going to go to the Super Bowl this year, almost everyone has just dismissed it and said, that's impossible. People just cannot not see the Lions being in the Super Bowl because they've never been in one. But, you know, those things change. The Seahawks had never won a Super Bowl before last year either. So, yeah, Truth Seeker, I'm going to link this. This is just so fascinating, and it leads to the very end. It makes the prediction of Colts and Lions. Oh, and it also does a little diss on the 12th man, Seattle fans, which I like. Being from Seattle, I can't stand the 12th man. They're some of the most annoying people you'll ever meet. These people are true buffoons. Also, yesterday, True Seeker, I just want to point out a few curiosities. I've been thinking about this Cardinals-Panthers game. I mean, if the games are scripted, why did they even give us this game in the first place? The year the Cardinals went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Steelers, who played yesterday, they beat Carolina in this stadium by a score of 33-13. The other thing, if you go back to the beginning of my blog, back to 2013, 2014, I posted several posts right off the bat about the Carolina Panthers football team because they were involved in all this curious stuff. Blackout, their first blackout game on this date having something to do with 33. To date, they've had the biggest I guess you should say anti-terrorism drills or terrorism simulation drills at Bank of America Stadium where the Carolina Panthers play. The team is owned by a 33rd degree Freemason. It's the only team that plays on a stadium lot that is 33 acres in size. Perhaps this is some sort of foreshadowing, or we're supposed to make some sort of connection with the team that they played against who will be hosting the Super Bowl this year. Super Bowl 49 is in the Cardinals' home stadium. So perhaps there's just something here, some sort of alluding to that. Possible terrorism at the coming Super Bowl. Or possibly not. I could be mistaken, True Seeker. Also, just looking at these stats, I see that Lindley got 82 yards passing. Sometimes I really wonder if these stats are all scripted. 82 is the number of Armageddon. Not too comforting. Here in the Ravens-Steelers game, this game's also interesting. In the Batman movie Dark Knight Rises, where the number 322 is shown just before the stadium explodes, they have the real Steelers team on the field, including Ben Roethlisberger. And the team they're playing against looks a lot like the Seahawks, but the kicker's name, who you see in the scene, is Ravenstall. Ravenstall, which is a lot like Baltimore Ravens. Where the name actually comes from, though, is it was the former mayor of Pittsburgh. His name's Ravenstall. But still, you just see these connections. Also, the Baltimore Ravens played in Super Bowl 47 against the 49ers, the Super Bowl that had the 33-minute blackout. Yes, the sum of yesterday's score was 47. Just little interesting notes. Also, yesterday in sports, you guys, outside of the NFL, the NHL had something happen. And I'll note that the NHL created its symbol in the year 47, the same year, the year of the first Super Bowl. All these sports leagues are synced up, True Seeker. The first NBA championship was in the year 47. It's not a coincidence. These numbers are pertinent. All right, so yesterday, Jaromir Jagr, former star of the NHL from about a decade ago, 2 decades ago, became the oldest player to record a hat trick. That's scoring 3 goals in the same game. Look at his age, and the article even takes the time to document it. He was 42 years old, meaning of life number, and 322 days. This number's shown in Dark Knight Rises as the stadium explodes, shown in Transformers as the Hoover Dam explodes, and just shown so often in movies with scenes of tragedy. I just saw the movie, The Grand Budapest Hotel, and there's a scene where Edward Norton is speaking in front of the number 322 at length. The name Norton sums to 33. His first movie was Primal Fear. The word primal's 33. Just so much of this numeric coding in celebrities and entertainment, Truth Seeker. So, yeah, I just wanted to document these curiosities, show you another source predicting Lions-Colts Super Bowl. I have to admit, True Seeker, before I saw that, I thought I was the first person in the world to predict a Colts-Lions Super Bowl, and as it turns out, somebody did it a few weeks before me. So, R.I.P. Stuart Scott. Hope you guys learned a few new things. Tried to show you how these sports anchors are chosen. It's not random. Look where he's from. He's from Chicago. So much of this stuff comes out of Chicago. It's bad, Truth Seeker. All right. Until next time.